Hey everybody, Hernke here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm joined by a very special guest, a friend that I've known for a long time in the industry. Her name is Sara Sometti Michaels.
Hi guys!
She is a writer, producer. She just had a really awesome film come out called Saint Agatha. We'll get into that in a little bit. Sara, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. How does it feel to be back in LA with your film?
I don't know, it feels unreal. Also because we filmed the movie in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, where we moved. We moved there to start scouting for the movie because we knew about the tax incentive, and once we were there, we actually fell in love with Atlanta, Georgia, and the people, and so we decided to stay after we're done filming. And so now being back here, being back with the movie premiere, movie in theater, is just like...
Surreal?
Different, yeah. I don't think I realized that the movie is out, so still like in a dream phase.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I know you worked very hard for it. Now let's go to your origins now. Like, what got you started to write and produce, a film like that?
So we go a little way back. So I started as an actress, and I was doing theater back in Italy, and which is where I'm from. And which was great, but then I wanted to get into films and TV, and in Italy at the time there were no opportunities unless you were born in the industry or you were connected somehow. So I ended up in LA, and I worked a little bit as an actress, but for me having an accent and an Italian accent, but don't looking Italian according to the stereotypes, was really hard. So I was getting cast as Eastern European, and but not as an Italian, and even that it was really hard. So I wrote a web series, like comedy web series. I wrote it, produced it, and acted it to kind of like break the stereotypes a little bit. And it was about like this Italian girl. And while I was doing that, I actually had a lot of fun, and I was like, okay, I can do it, and I wanted to do it again. So I produced a couple of short films to see if I really liked the behind the scene part. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this for the rest of my life, change my career. Still, like, acting is still a passion, but now it's not, like, my main goal. Right. I can still put myself in my movies if I want, but it's now, like, it's very fulfilling for me, to do the whole process, not just acting, because I have more control. I'm a Virgo. I love being in control. I'm a control freak. So definitely, like, the producing part fits me very well. So... after the short films, I was like, okay, now I think I'm ready for the next step, I'm trying to create a feature film. And I had a couple of ideas that I was playing with, and I played with them for a while until I had them completely laid out in my head. And then obviously English is not my first language, so even though I can write, but I still need some help with dialogues and stuff, otherwise all my characters will have one voice. The only way I know how to speak English. And that's when Sean and Andy came in the picture. They're friends of yours as well. Yep. We had a lot of adventures all together for many years. So I meet up with them, and I'm like, hey guys, I have these ideas that I want to write, and would you help me out? And so I sent them my synopsis, everything about what I wanted to do, and that's when we started working together. And that's how Saint Agatha was born, and we got really lucky because after, I think it was 10 days, after we were done with the first draft, we got the money.
Oh my goodness.
It was
wow.
That's
incredible.
Being right at the right time, the right place. Again, I had the idea, and I had the full movie in my head for like at least a couple of years. But then we're like, all right, let's do it, let's write it. When I told them to actually send the first draft to the investors, they freaked out. I'm like, trust me guys, it's gonna be okay. They know it's the first draft, but they need to read the concept to see the concept. And
right.
Which is funny because like the financial advisor of our investor couldn't go past page 30 because he was too scared. And the investor, true story, to this day he never finished reading the script. And the investor's like, this is really scary, but not scary enough to say no. And that's how we got the money.
Wow. And then after that, that's when Darren became attached, right?
Darren actually was not in the picture for a while because even though I was a huge fan of Saw 2, I never thought I could get to him. The original version of Saint Agatha was more like a hostel in a convent, and I was inspired by Eli Roth because I'm a huge fan of his work. And I wrote it with him in mind, but by the time I was able to get it done, he moved on to like much bigger projects.
Right.
And but I had a list of directors that I liked, and we talked to a couple of them, and in the meantime we hired a producer to help us because it was my husband and I we were doing this Saint Agatha producing, and it was our first big project. So we hired another producer that we're supposed to shadow, that was supposed to have much more experience than we did. And at the time, he was working on another project, Detention Experience, that was very popular here in LA, like an interactive, immersive theater experience. Mm-hmm. And he was working with Darren. And that's when he's like, hey, what do you think about Darren directing Saint Agatha? And I'm like, are you sure you're talking about the Darren Bousman? And he's like, yeah, that guy. And I'm like, I don't think he's going to be interested. And he's like, well, actually he is. And that's how the whole thing happened.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
And I could tell when I watched the film that there were definitely elements from Saw and, like you said, Hostel, right? There were little elements of Hostel, and it was a very...
A little bit of torture.
Oh, yeah. And then Sean was telling me that one of the original versions was a lot darker and a lot more violent, and they had to pull back like 50%, right?
A little more than that. We
Even
had to
more?
turn it down. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just like, with the whole political situation, the idea that I had was like when time were different. Mm-hmm. And then, people got more sensitive. They're like, with everything that is going on around the world. So we had to make a decision also, talking to Darren, to tone it down, make it a little more psychological or less gory.
Right. Wow. That's telling a guy that does horror, telling him to tone it down a little bit. Wow.
Well, actually, he was really excited to tone it down. He was actually the one that was pushing for more. I mean, like, tone it down more. And I was the one like, no, I need more, like, blood. I need more of this, more of that.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have any memorable experiences, any fun experiences you had working on that film in Atlanta with any of the cast or crew in particular, or Sean and Andy? Any funny stories with them?
Well, I have to say, the crew was amazing. Like, every single person that worked on this project was really incredible, and I'm so grateful that they dedicated their time and experience to Saint Agatha. We had a lot of craziness, but I think, like, I don't know, it was also very challenging. It was cold, and we shot in February and in Georgia, so the weather is much colder than LA at the time. I think my favorite part was actually the drive. It was like 1 hour drive each way because we were shooting in Madison. Okay. So from Atlanta to Madison was about an hour because we were driving a van. Yeah. And Sean turned out to be the driver of the van, and I could have drove, with the director and DP with Seth, which drives much faster, so he was able to do in half an hour. But I felt bad to leave Sean. Why did I say John? I'm sorry, I'm exhausted. Too many things going on this week. So anyway, with Sean, I didn't want to leave him by himself because he had a big responsibility, and we're working really long hours and everything. So to keep everybody upbeat and excited and awake, we would do karaoke in the van. Nice. Yeah, we actually had all the words, and like we plug it in the speaker of the van, and everybody was singing karaoke. Whether it was like 5 in the morning on the way down, or 2, 3 in the morning on the way back.
Did you guys get any of that on video?
I do. I bet I'm gonna show it to you privately.
No. I definitely want to see the video. That's funny.
But that was like one of my favorite moments because we had some cast and some crew in that van, And so we bonded really well because we had this like special moment, you know, that we were sharing, and it was every day. It was our secret.
Great.
So we arrived to set like 5 in the morning. We were all excited, all pumped. Everybody was still asleep, and they're like, "What do you guys do? You're so awake, so excited." We're like, "We've just been singing, you know, like for an hour, like screaming in the van and dancing," and that was.
Who needs coffee when you can do karaoke at 5 in the morning?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it works. It works, and it gets your energy. You know, you're so excited, and we all pick our favorite songs. You know, very upbeat and stuff. So that was like fun.
Did you ever break it out on set too? Where you just start singing on set?
Sean and I, yeah, we did, but not in front of many people. It's just like when, you know, making a movie is fun, but it's also there are so many things, so many moving parts, and so many difficult moments, and so many unpredictable moments. So that was our way to, you know, deal with, you know, possible meltdowns. Was like, all right, let's start singing, and we'd like sing. We had our way to, you know, keep ourselves, you know, balanced, not lose our minds, or like, you know, help the stress.
Now, what was your longest day on set? How many hours did you go?
I don't think we went past 14. Yeah. Also, I was the first one there and the last one to leave, so it's really hard to. I think 14 hours. We tried like so hard not to go past 12, but it was always like 12 and a half, 13. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Saint Agatha. Saying it right. Saint Agatha is on iTunes, right?
Yeah.
iTunes. It's in limited theatrical release. Hopefully, it'll gain lots of traction and get more theaters. That's what you guys are going for.
Well,
right?
Actually, it's doing really well right now on video on demand, iTunes and Amazon. So, yeah, money's money. So it's doing well. Just like you can rent it out, and then it's gonna come out in DVD in May. So.
Okay, DVD, Blu-ray.
Yeah.
You got 4K coming out?
I believe so, and there's gonna be a director's commentary, and there is also deleted scenes. We have some really cool deleted scenes that unfortunately didn't make the cut, so they're on the special DVD.
I would like to see it. So definitely check out Saint Agatha on iTunes, Amazon. All those links will be down in the description below. Go see it. It's a really intense movie. It's a fresh idea, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm just every time when I saw your name on the screen, Sarah. Holy cow, Sarah, Sean, and Andy. You guys really, really impressed me with that movie. I'm very, very proud of you guys.
Yeah, I had a really good team. Sean and Andy, yeah, they really put my initial vision, you know, and then obviously Darren came on board, and he had his part of it vision. He had his signature footprint, how you say.
Yeah.
But I think Sean, myself, and Andy worked really, really well together. For some reason, we can share the vision very well. Like, we can go into each other's brain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's very great.
Now, one more question about that. When you saw the movie for the first time with an audience, what were you feeling the first time that you watched it with the audience that was going to see it for the first time?
I was so nervous. The first time we did it was at Overlook Film Festival in New Orleans, which is a great, great film festival for indie filmmakers, for the horror filmmakers. So if you are a horror fan or a horror filmmaker, you definitely want to go to Overlook. It was a fantastic experience. And I remember I was so nervous, like my heart was exploding. I was physically shaking. And I was like, what if they don't like it? What if like they start walking out? Also, there was like Ryan Turek from Blumhouse sitting in the audience, and I was like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't walk out, because like I look up to those guys very much, you know. So I was like, it will break my heart if he walks out, or if he doesn't like it, or you know. And I remember like watching the movie with my back, so I sat in the front row and I watched the audience the entire time. I never look at the screen. I watched the audience the entire time.
Did anybody in the audience realize, what is she doing facing the other way?
No, because like I had some cast that was blocking me, so I was really in the first row.
Oh, okay.
And I had some cast right behind me, so they probably didn't notice.
So you probably saw a lot of different reactions, like...
I saw a lot. And the thing is that with this movie, we went all over the world, which is very interesting. So we went to Spain. We going to Sitges. We went to Torino Horror Film Festival in Italy. We went to Fright Fest in London. Busan in South Korea. We went to Mexico City for Morbido, and then so many others that I can't list them all. But it was really interesting to see how different people from different culture react to horror. Like New Orleans, they were like very vocal about like the scare. So it'd be like, like you could hear like this sounds, right? Italy, they were so silent, and I was watching them. They would be like, but it was no sound, and it was very interesting. Or like they would cover their face or hide their face. And then we went to Spain, and it would be like, yeah, kill it, you know, like yeah, blood, you know, and you're like, what's wrong with these people? So like it's very interesting because it's the same movie, but the reactions are so different from around the world.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you catch any of that on video? You know how they have like the little camera hidden with the...
I wish.
Oh, man.
I wish. Yeah, everything
awesome
happens so fast. And also at the time, we keep pushing for other projects, so we're always so busy. We go to the festival there for a couple of days and travel back. It's just like so much was happening at the same time, and we didn't think about it, but definitely for the future I would love to do something like that.
Yes, you got to. Have to.
Yeah.
Do you have any current projects that you're working on right now?
We just finished on a really cool psychological thriller. We wrapped a couple of days ago, and is called In Pieces. Very, very cool story, very well written. Everything takes place in one location, one apartment. The twists are so amazing. I fell in love with it. I didn't write it. The director, Quillen Hightower, is the writer-director, and it's a brilliant, brilliant story. And I have an amazing cast. I have Hannah Firma, Lindsay Syme. They were both in St. Agatha. Hannah is famous from VHS, the original VHS, and Siren. And Lindsay Syme, she was in Insidious Chapter 2. She's an amazing actress as well. And Seth, of course.
Yeah, you gotta put him in there.
He's like with the producer, so I gave him the role. So that's how it works, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, just kidding. He's my husband. Anyway, and then we have Jimmy Jean-Louis, which he's very well known for the TV series Zero, and then he was in Joy with Jennifer Lawrence. Very solid cast, all amazing actors, and then in 2 weeks I'm gonna be filming a horror anthology series called Dead by Midnight 2. The first one came out last year, did very well, so we're doing.
So, do you have any advice you want to give to anybody that's aspiring to be a writer, a producer, or make a horror film of their own?
Yeah, it's a very simple advice. It's just do it. Don't listen to people that try to put you down or discourage you. Those people, they are afraid themselves to follow their dreams. So don't let them get in the way. Just follow your dream. You don't have to start big, start small. You can start with a short film, with a web series. Do it like very cheap. Do it, nowadays, with the iPhones, you can shoot a movie. Play around with that. Do it. See what you like. What side of the business you like. Play with it. Do it like very cheap. And then when you feel ready, when you figure it out, then you can do a little bigger until you're ready for the real big step. But don't stop. If it is your passion, your dream, but also be prepared because it's not easy. You're not gonna get rich or famous. Really, in any how do you say, it's not going to be fast. It's going to take time. You might not even get rich or famous ever, but if it is your passion and you really love what you do, that's all that matters. That's what makes you happy, and that's all you need. That's beautiful. Very well said, Sarah. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for having me. You're welcome. Check out her film, St. Agatha. Went out in limited theatrical release February 8th. It's on iTunes, Amazon,
all those VOD platforms. The links will be down in the description below. Please support her career. Let's keep the ball rolling, right?
Thank you guys, and you can follow me on social media, and if you have any question, you can write me and I will respond in person, like anything you need.
Absolutely. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button below for more content coming up. This is Hans and Sarah signing off. Out.